The Elder Gods have blessed us as in 2021 we get the second Mortal Kombat movie of the year in a sequel to Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge, my personal favorite Mortal Kombat movie. This is my review of Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. Picking up after the events of Scorpion's Revenge, when our heroes are attacked by Shao Kahn, Earthrealm must journey to Outworld and fight for the survival of their homeland. In the tournament to end all tournaments, the final Mortal Kombat. Now, before I start with my review, there will be no spoilers for this movie, and also I want to know your thoughts on Mortal Kombat, not only Legends Battle of the Realms, but I also want to know what you thought of Scorpion's Revenge. I have a review for that one as well on my channel. You can check it out right here, and also my review of the live-action Mortal Kombat that we got earlier this year. I'm very excited to know your thoughts, and of course, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to the channel, consider clicking that subscribe button, as you'll do wonders to get the content out there and join a beautiful film fan community. So as previously stated, I love Scorpion's Revenge from last year. It's my favorite Mortal Kombat movie out of all the Mortal Kombat movies that we've got, so I was very excited to check this one out, and I'm pleased to say I still love this animation. I love the visuals of this film. I think they're really well done. The action is intense, it's ruthless, it's gory, they do not hold back in the blood and guts. That's what I want when I go check out a Mortal Kombat movie. I also really like that this film just dives into it completely, picks up directly after the last movie and just goes for it. Shao Kahn is invading, Earthrealm is fighting to keep their world alive, and Raiden and Shao Kahn come to an agreement where they will plead with the Elder Gods to have a final Mortal Kombat tournament in Outworld. And Raiden continues to be one of my favorite characters. I think this film does a great job with this character, where he has to relinquish his godhood to be a part of the Earthrealm Defenders and fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament. I think it puts the character in a very interesting position, and it immediately raises the tension twofold, as Raiden is now immortal. He could die in this tournament. But the tournament is merely the A storyline of the film. There's a B storyline going on where Scorpion, now at the hands of Shinnok, is being used as an instrument to bring about the end of all the realms, while at the same time Kuai Liang, the brother of Bi-Han, swears revenge on Scorpion, and there's a few stuff going on there that I will not spoil, and I cared much more about the B storyline than the A storyline. The story with Scorpion and Kuai Liang and the conflict that they have with one another, but also people coming after both of them, I think it's really interesting. It's very compelling. We understand the characters' motivations, and they are relatable. It's a revenge story. But it's also a story that discusses themes of the sins of the father, or in this case, brother, as well as loyalty and honor. So as much we're invested in that B storyline. The tournament is cool, don't get me wrong, there's just not much advancement in terms of any characters. Everything just feels too fast, too soon, like you're not able to develop each element and each character throughout the show. There are moments where these characters get opportunities to shine, to have real character moments throughout the film, but the film constantly feels at odds with one another, as it's telling these two really big stories in 90 minutes, one alongside the other, and it keeps jumping back and forth, and that kills a lot of the pacing. The A storyline with the tournament is moving so fast, while you feel the B storyline gets a lot of development, gets a lot of breathing time, and again, it's much more worthy of emotional investment. Character development when it comes to the characters involved in the storyline of the tournament just feels very sudden. All the big moments feel like they just appear out of nowhere and very suddenly. To have those moments, but it kind of forgets the building blocks and the road for these characters to take. It feels very much like they're having these moments because it is what happens in the lore and in the story of the video games of Mortal Kombat, and the film doesn't really earn them, unfortunately. And another thing that affects the film is that these two storylines are almost entirely detached from one another. We understand as Mortal Kombat fans how they will eventually affect each other, and I guess they eventually do, but for the most part, the characters are not even aware of the two things that are going on. They are completely separate from one another, to where I wish there were two movies, one that told the story of Kuai Liang and Scorpion, and then another movie to tell the story of the tournament. It just becomes a mishmash of big action, visually pleasing, with great gore, great effects, but there is, as a whole, a lack of narrative momentum pushing these stories forward, to the point where when they converge, it almost feels coincidental. It almost feels like it's by happenstance and forced. So suffice it to say, Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms was disappointing to me. I don't think it's a horrible movie, I think it's perfectly watchable, it can have really great moments of fun, and at least one of the storylines I was very invested in. It featured two of my favorite characters in this franchise, so immediately I was pushed more towards that story. As a whole, it just feels like it's its own worst enemy. I really didn't care about how this film ends. The third act is completely just visual noise with all the explosions and all the superpowers, and it just didn't have that much character or emotion behind it. It was just a big visual spectacle. It was all fireworks, but nothing there in terms of narrative almost. If you're a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan, I fully recommend this for you. Even if you end up just having silly fun with it like me, there's at least a chance one of the storylines will appeal to you, and in that sense, I think it's worth a watch. It's not that great of a film, unfortunately, it did disappoint me, but it has its moments, and I think it can crave the appetite of the most hardcore Mortal Kombat fans. But I am giving Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms a C. It's very much there in the middle ground, perfectly watchable, not utterly horrible, but it did disappoint me when it comes to its story and how it really is doing too much for a 90-minute animated film. But I want to know all your thoughts, so throw them down there in the comments below. Did you love it more than me? Dislike it even more than me? Throw them all down there. Let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you're still watching and this was your first video, make sure you click that subscribe button, because if you're still watching, you enjoyed it on some level. I'll be back very soon with many more reviews, and I hope to see you in those. And so until then, love each other and love the movies.